The following program, it is unsafe for epileptics. It kills lab rats. If we're being totally honest here, seriously, don't watch this.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of 3 Geeks Flix. This, again, is a Geek Speek. This is our second one, and this is actually kind of a Geek Speek / hybrid. There's my first screw-up of the night, folks. Joining me, as always, is the Muse, Justin Kyle. Say hello, everyone, Justin.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, and of course, joining us on this special Geek Speek is Eurika. So, Eurika, say hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
I like it. I like it. You shut your mouth, Muse. I like it.
Great Scott!
I like it. No. Great to have her on. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for putting up with us, especially that one over there. She happens to be a close friend of Justin's. That is a toll paid heavily.
Good luck. We're all counting on you.
Very much so.
Yes. We are tonight looking at Huntsman, Winter's War, the latest trailer release. Eureka picked the topic, has some things she'd like to talk about. So before I get too far deep into all of my questions Eureka and the Muse have as well. This is a April 22nd, 2016 release, so it's coming up on us. It is directed by Cedric Nicholas. Now, I looked Cedric up, and I do not see any prior directorial mentionings or of anything, so we've fairly got kind of an unknown new guy. Now, joining us back, this is a prequel. You've got Charlize Theron as Ravenna, Chris Hemsworth as the Huntsman, Jessica Chastain as Sarah, Emily Blunt as Freya, and then Sam Claflin as William. And I didn't do him justice. He was in the first Snow White and the Huntsman. Yes, he was the bowman, and also he is also Finnick in the Hunger Games. So yeah, you know, it took me a minute. I kept looking, and I was like, I swear to God, I know who that is. And my wife schooled me on that one, so shout out to her. The gray is showing. I don't need any comments, Justin. We already had your nephew inform me of how old, or cousin, or whatever, that young man.
That's correct.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
That's enough on the subject. So, like I said, April 22nd release, and given that we've got the cast right there, and like I always do, and I'm actually going to throw it out to both of you, Justin, Eureka, give it to me. What you got? You sort out the bodies of who goes first.
Well, I mean, I am the guest, so I'm going to go first, because Justin's a gentleman and I'm a lady.
I like the initiative.
Well, okay. First off, from what I've read, the Huntsman Winter's War is actually both a prequel and a sequel to the original Huntsman.
Okay.
It's actually kind of given us the prequel of how the Huntsman became the Huntsman and how he was trained and evolved, because they made a lot of references because he ended up kind of falling in love with Kristen Stewart in the first movie, and he had always talked about his late wife. So this kind of gives us that story. The sequel aspect of it is where Freya and Reneva, both played by Charlize Theron and Emily Blunt, is after her demise, and Emily Blunt is now picking up the pieces, and she wants the mirror, and that's where the war and then takes place, because apparently the Charlize Theron's character, Reneva, can be regenerated or come back to life or something based off that mirror. And so it is both in turn, both the prequel and the sequel, which I was crazy excited about when I found out about it.
Right.
That's interesting. I did not know that they were pulling a sequel aspect to it. So,
yeah. So the war actually takes place after, Snow White has allegedly already killed the queen.
And see, I wondered that, given that first trailer, it almost gave it more of a sequel feel, especially when she looked up in that balcony and said, well, hello, Huntsman, or, how I missed you. And I was thinking about that tonight as watching the trailer. I was like, I wonder what they mean. Maybe they ran at each other earlier in the movie, and that was maybe getting close to the climax. But that makes a lot more sense as far as as the way you're telling that.
It was something new that I had found that I found very interesting, and because I did a little research on it before this conversation happening here. But they also talked about it was supposed to be a sequel altogether, and they were going to bring Kristen Stewart back from the original, and just got to be too scandalous, and they didn't want her, which I don't blame them.
Yeah,
Right.
I think they were going for more personality. I don't know.
Yeah, they're doing something. So.
Well,
So how would you what would your rating be of the first one, the Snow White and the Huntsman, the first one with Kristen Stewart overall?
Overall, I would probably give it like a 6. I was not impressed with Kristen Stewart at all. I mean, anything she's appeared in, I've really just kind of not been excited about. So if I see her in a movie, it's kind of a put off on it. I don't want to.
Yeah,
she's not that great.
Yeah, it says a lot when your body double is a 2x4 with a wig.
Right.
Boy.
It's about the same type of personality.
That's pretty accurate. Excluding Kristen Stewart, because I'm right there with you with that. If you were to, let's say you were to replace Kristen Stewart with like a good actress, I probably would have given the movie like an 8.5.
Which is anybody else in Hollywood?
There were a lot of good things I actually liked about the first one. Excluding Kristen Stewart and some other things. But this one, I think they've corrected that error, obviously, because she's not cast in it. And then they've added, Jessica Chastain as well as Emily Blunt are some of the two most talented actresses working today, I think. Especially Jessica Chastain. She's one of my favorite actresses working today. So, yeah,
Justin
I'm on board
also thinks she's like incredibly hot, so that's why.
I felt a little crush somewhere hidden in there that he was trying to hold back from me.
She is a very respectable actor. She's very classy.
Don't hide your feelings, Justin. Don't hide them.
Yeah. But that, what's interesting though? Here's the other thing I've been thinking about. So she is when she first started, she graduated from Juilliard. And a lot of people don't know that, but she's a Juilliard alumni. So she has the formal acting training. And when she first started, she started like straight up indies. That's the only thing that she started. And now she's becoming more and more blockbuster and more mainstream. She's getting more and more work, almost to the point I really hope she doesn't become like oversaturated. You know what I mean? Kind of like Jennifer Lawrence. I have a lot of people telling me that they're kind of tired of seeing her, even though she's won like 2 Oscars already.
Right. It's all about the movie too. You got to think about it. You with the right storyline, you can do a lot with it. I mean.
Right.
I don't know. I find Jessica Chastain can sometimes be a little dry. No, I know it's offensive, Justin. He's offended. but she can be a little dry. But she has. I'm sorry. No, sorry, not sorry. But you've got Charlize Theron, who is very strong, and she has that soft sense about her. But she has this presence. It seems like if she walks into a room, you're going to be intimidated. Emily Blunt also brings that same presence. I don't know if Jessica Chastain, I'll have to see the movie, is going to be the best fit for it. Maybe she'll surprise me. Right. I honestly thought about that. another strong woman I kind of thought about just because of her portrayal of Catwoman was Anne Hathaway. May or may not have been a better choice. We'll see. Personal opinion.
Right.
Yeah, and I can see why they cast her possibly to give it more of a, Hemsworth has this kind of Nordic feel to him as far as facial features and character, and of course he's forever been branded as Thor. And, I can see that maybe she has some of those qualities as far as the fair skin, red hair, all that good stuff and everything. But to talk about strong actress and lead, Charlize Theron as Ravenna. She made herself that role in the last movie, and she seems to be carrying it over as far as the trailer goes. To kind of answer some of the questions he threw out on my end, the actors in this, they're strong. They're going to carry the movie regardless of what the story is. And as far as from what I've seen from critics so far, that has been their biggest possible gripe that so far has been seen. And regardless of what Rotten Tomatoes has it right now as a percentage from critics, my feeling on critics, like most people, even though we're critics, is, if I wanted to hear from a room full of asshats, I could go and sit down and spend my day watching juries get picked. So, it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's
right.
I'm more worried about what the people think, and it has a 97% as far as people wanting to go see it. So there is a draw and there is a lure to this that people enjoyed about the first one, and people see in this one, and regardless of what you think story-wise, it's well casted.
Oh, you've got a very strong cast, so I'm excited to see what happens.
That, and any movie you get Chris Hemsworth to take his shirt off, you're gonna get viewers on both sides of the fence.
So I think in the first one, Charlize Theron stole the show. Obviously, she is phenomenally talented. She is actually the only Oscar winner out of this bunch so far. But I have a feeling that Emily Blunt is going to give her a run for the money just from the trailers. You know what I mean? Now, that one shot of Theron in the trailer when she starts screaming and then she starts spraying the liquid, that looked pretty sick. That straight up looked really cool to me. So we'll see. I'm pretty sure that Emily Blunt may steal this movie, though. Just a hunch. Could be wrong.
Yeah, the visual effects in the first movie were already pretty decent. I mean, on probably a scale of 1 to 10, probably easily a 9. Bigger cast, better cast, probably a bigger budget. I'm sure there's going to be some pretty phenomenal things happening on that screen.
Yeah, and visuals are rock solid. They're right on. I've watched all the trailers on this thing, and like I said, nothing feels out of place. You definitely feel like that you're in that universe. It follows the first very well as far as the feel, the colors, the atmosphere that they set forth. I can't see any gripes whatsoever, and especially from what they did, especially with the ice and Freya, and then as you said, that scene where Charlize Theron is screaming and the pieces of her skin, the mirror, and all the black and everything. It doesn't look cheesy, and so I definitely have to give that to him. And the shots, especially the slow-mo shot of Hemsworth cutting through that straw dummy or whatever is. It all looks well played. So I don't think visually they're going to have any problem. The only thing that I worry is as far as is the execution of story. We've seen what can happen with Batman vs. Superman when you try to tell too much of a story, and that is the only thing that I'm fearful that it may jump too much. Thoughts? I see you thinking, Justin. I see you thinking.
Well, I was just thinking, have you seen Batman v Superman yet?
I have not.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I didn't think she has, so we have to be kind of careful.
Okay, I'll keep my mouth shut now.
So we were just talking about the visuals real fast. The first one. Now, I will say, I think Rupert Everett was the director of the first one. Wasn't he, Mitchell?
Yes, that is the gentleman that Kristen Stewart was caught sleeping with.
That is correct. So he started off making amazing commercials, like high-end car commercials and other really good commercials, and that's how the studios picked him up. The direction of the first one, I think, was very, very well done. The action was great. Yuri, you know that on the head. It was great as far as special effects, but it was also original and creative. So, like, when the swords cut the soldiers, they turn into crystals, things like that. I thought it was really original with what they were doing. I've never heard of the director of this one before, like you said, Mitchell. I don't think he's had any previous credits. The trailers look good, but when I saw the trailer for the first one, it had that touch, man. That it just had that gritty. It was a paradox because it was a gritty fairy tale, which that's kind of a weird thing to say in and of itself when you think about it. Special effects look good. I don't know. I'm kind of with you. I'm a little worried that this may be too much for what appears to be a first-time director with this cast, with this budget, with these stakes. Because you're right, Yuri. Since the first one, I don't know if you could classify it as like a hit, but it did well enough for them to make a sequel, which in turn means higher stakes, a bigger budget, bigger cast, right? So I'm really curious to see how the finished product is going to turn out, knowing that they didn't try to go with more like a mainstream director, someone we've heard of, someone that, let's say, if you threw a bigger name out there, we'd be like, this movie is going to be awesome. You didn't have to depend on the trailer. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe they put so much money into their actors they couldn't afford the bigger name directors.
Probably correct. But you know what's interesting? There was a poll recently. This is what's called in filmmaking, this is called the era of the director. So like in the early 90s, it was people like Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt, because those were the movie stars in the 90s that got people in the cinemas. It's not that anymore. Now it's Christopher Nolan. Now it's Joss Whedon. Now you're going to see movie James Cameron. Even Spielberg at the time was big. Yeah. But now people are going Jon Favreau. That's another good example. When you think of the Jungle Book, think of that cast, Walken, Idris Elba, you can Scarlett, but you're going because of who the director was, for me anyway, and most people.
Well, I can tell you, I know more directors' names now than I do Hollywood actors. Case in point.
Absolutely, and I think that's kind of your 180 that you've got now, and I think a lot of actors have seen that you know what, just because your name is on a film doesn't necessarily mean somebody's going to go out and see the crap burger you just laid. If you don't have that name behind it, as well as not only director but producer, and hell, you can even go as far as writers now. I mean, you don't have the cred, and quite frankly, I've gone on and I've looked some movies up on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, and I've seen who the writers are, and I've seen the scores from as far as that their movies have gotten in the past. I'm just like, well, this is just going to be another crap fest that I'm going to be pissed off for paying $8 to $10 for. So, I mean, yeah, you definitely make a great point to where you have to be aware of that, and it's a different world. If that right name's not on there, nobody wants to see it. I mean, I'm not doing any. This is no Batman vs Superman spoiler, but just like for people that do not like Zack Snyder and aren't a fan of his past work, that might be keeping them out of the theater for that, to where they love superhero movies, or they may love Ben Affleck in movies or whatnot. So it's the same double-edged knife.
Right.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Yep, I agree.
Okay. Eureka, any other points you wanted to hit on?
Oh man. Goodness gracious.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
You did. You did. I mean, I came in strong. Now I'm failing at the end.
I have a specific question for you, though, Eureka, if you don't mind. So, like, we've talked about what we're looking forward to with the movie, right? And our worries and concerns, but what we think looks good. Now, how would you rate the trailer so far? If you look at a trailer as a trailer, what would you give, like, the last trailer that we're talking about?
I will say this. As far as if I knew nothing about the movie, just visual effects, the people I see in it, the cast, the director. I'm just going, whoa, I want to see that movie. I'd probably honestly give it at least a 9.5, just because it catches your eye. Everything about it makes you wonder. It makes you want to know more, which is exactly what the whole point of a trailer is to make you get your butt in that seat. And if a trailer doesn't catch your eye or make you feel something, what's the point of going to the movie? Doesn't matter. They could line the cast up with whoever, but it's the visual effects. It's how they put it together, the scenes, the emotions, her losing her child and how just the anger in it. And then you've got the romance aspect. The romance is going to get a woman in a seat no matter what. I mean, the action is what's going to get the husband to go with her.
Right. That's a great way to put it, because when you phrase it like that, it reminds me, because I went to the movies today, but it reminds me of that. Y'all seen that Chevy Malibu commercial where they get those people and they're looking at the car and that takes away all the brands and they're like, oh, it looks like it's $85,000, and they're like, this is the Chevy Malibu. If you take everything away and you take the director away, you take the cast away, you just look at it as a movie trailer, and you said you give it a 9. That's a great way to look at it. You look at the trailer for the sake of the trailer, nothing else.
Yeah.
By the way, Chevy, if you want to give us a little throwback for that blatant spot right there, you can hit us up at 3 Geeks Flix, the number 3 FLIX on Twitter or Facebook, by the way.
I thought it looked like a Ferrari. That's what I thought it looked like.
Now they know you're blatantly kissing ass. Stop it.
Right, stop that. Silly.
Muse, what is your score, sir, for the last trailer? We got a 9.5 from Eurika.
What was it, a 9.5 or a 9?
She said
9.5.
9.5.
Because even the music in there catches you. I feel like it was made for that movie. Might have been.
I'm really glad you talked about that, Yuri, because in our first trailer, we did a trailer break on this before, and that was my biggest criticism. They did that thing now that it's just like a trend where they take like a cover song and they make it a little more electronica. They put a creepy girl singing it, right? It's what all the movie trailers are doing these days.
Creepy girl.
I'm being dead serious. Like,
I know you are. That's why I laugh.
And it's not like that, because when the Suicide Squad trailer did it, they did it flawlessly. So it's not doing that, but it's following trends and doing it incorrectly. The first trailer did that. The music for this one was more of what I was talking about. You know what I mean? So yeah. I don't remember what I gave the first one, but I would probably say this one I'd probably give an 8.5.
It came up a few notches.
Yeah, it did.
It came up.
That just happened.
Yes, it did.
Someone mark this.
Cue the audio clip.
That just happened.
Just made my job a little harder with editing. Thank you. No. As far as my number, yeah, I've seen a couple of the TV trailers, but once I actually watched the official trailer too, offline, I like it better than the TV spots as far as it goes. I'm not gonna lie to you. At first, with the TV spots, the second TV spots, I wasn't completely thrilled. But now that I sat down and watched that trailer 2 release off of IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, it brought it up. It brought it up actually 2 whole points to an 8.5 as well. The music, the more I listen to it, it honestly does, Eureka. It does feel like that they had that song made for the trailer or for the movie. I'm not sure. Justin, have you heard that song before or not? I'm not sure. Is this source? Okay, so in that I kind of listened to it and I was like, well, okay, yeah, I know they did the trend thing that Justin and I gripe about, but then again, they didn't take another song and just make it creepy. They kind of had their own creepy song in mind. So, right. Given that, I'll give it an 8.5, definitely because of strong actors. The performances look real well. The visuals look amazing. And as far as the only thing that I am concerned about at this point is the fluidity and the connection, the connectivity give it or take it, however you want to say it. I don't know. Maybe I'm making words up. But that the story flows in itself and doesn't feel fragmented. So, but other than that, that's my only true concern.
Yeah, it definitely seems like you're going to have either currently watched or remember vividly everything from the first movie to watch this second movie. Just because it's inserting, like I said, the prequel and the sequel to just stick it right in the middle.
Right.
And just go, well, here's this part, and here's the movie that you needed to watch, and then here's the other part.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
And I think you've got I think you definitely have a grasp on that. It will definitely, I feel, probably help you to watch the first movie, because you get too carried away in flashbacks and backstory. You really bog a movie down, and you can really drag it to not where it's a slow burn, but it's just a slow burn out.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
All right. Any other points?
Eureka.
Justin.
All right. Well, given that, you have all of our verdicts as far as on the trailer and our thoughts so far as for what we've seen from the movie. Want to thank everybody for tuning in and joining us. Like always, check us out on Facebook, 3 Geeks Flix. Give us a like, leave us some comments. Hey, even if you're a troll, we miss you. Come back. Where the hell did you go? We're on Twitter. The number 3, we're at the @ as you always do on Twitter. At the number 3 Geeks Flix, Flix. You can follow us there, give us shout outs there, leave comments, and of course, where you're watching all this, YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Get involved, as I always say, every end of every episode. Be that third geek, and we'll have you on just like we've had Eureka on, just like we've had, others in the past. We want to have that kind of involvement, and you never know, you may get the call. But other than that, again, thank you very much, Eureka. We definitely will we'll have you on again. It's nice to have somebody on that can help me blackmail that one over there, Captain Chatty.
Oh, I will help you with anything you need.
Yeah, see what happens when you bring friends on? I turn them against you.
Okay,
Thank you for having me on, guys. Wake up, Jeff.
I was just gonna say I'm going to murder both of you later.
Great Scott!
Okay.
Get to driving. All right, folks.
I'm not worried about it.
Thank you all again for sticking with us, checking in, and as I always say, stay tuned to the glow of those monitors, because we're gonna catch you next time. Good night.
Yeah, let's include the really depressing dead teddy bear in the abandoned house.
Well, it speaks to your personality.
I'm inspired by it, actually.
Oh no, it's brilliant. I mean, hey, I could talk all day about that picture.
Narcissist.
Another picture too that I got done today. See what you think about that.
Keep it appropriate.
Appropriate.
I know.
Alright. Justin, you are wearing pants, correct?
Yeah,
Alright.
we don't want people to know who she actually is.
Say, no one's on the witness protection program, by the way. No.
He'll have this edited and on the internet in the next 5 minutes. Okay, Mitch, go ahead and get on top of that ASAP.
You shut your mouth. All right. Yes. That is a tasty beverage.
She did good, right?
She did good.
And you can turn that up down if you need to.
She did good. She did real good. My, I can see the moon. I can see the clouds. It's a dark, gloomy night in Longview, Texas. Justin perches himself precariously on the curb, taking a drag from that slow burn of his cigarettes in. Somebody on a crotch rocket crashes into a building and everyone laughs.
Legal document and contracts for people that want to be on the show, and they're gonna have to go outside and smoke a cigarette afterwards on Skype for bloopers. Like, that's in the contract. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to, but please still do it.
Yeah. Oh, and you just flip me off. Don't you ever. Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.